Hello everyone, Visuals832 back again with another What's on Deck. Let's have a look at what is going on in Kickstarter right now. First of all, I want to mention a couple of issues going on. First of all, Chivalry playing cards out here from Design Imperator, aka Nikolai, was supposed to be produced by Legends Playing Cards. However, apparently Legends Playing Cards is saying they can't produce the cards with all the details he's got on them with foil and stuff like that, which is kind of weird. And so he's now having to print them through Noir Arts. And he is offering refunds, and obviously there's going to be more delays. Apparently, though, he did state in a comment that he could produce it with Legends, but it would be a different, more expensive stock and finish that he had not gotten the funding for. And there would be a few more months of delays, and he doesn't want to go that route, which is disappointing. To me, it sounds a little bit like he mismanaged the project a little bit, did not get the appropriate costs, and or Legends misinformed him, or there was some kind of miscommunication. He didn't give him the specific specs regarding the deck, and they were not able to give him the actual costs or whatever. There was some kind of a mix-up. All I know is I'm a bit disappointed it's no longer Legends Playing Cards and that it's Noir Arts based on quality that I've seen from Noir Arts. But, you know, at the same time, what's it going to do, I guess. One other issue is with the Emerald Tally Holes. Jackson Robinson. Apparently, the gilded limited edition decks were put into the wrong tuck cases that match, I guess, this green one, the regular one. But they do have the numbered seals on them. So, what Jackson is having to do is basically get the decks redone, those gilded edition ones, and and get them with new numbered seals and everything. And then he's probably, again, going to end up selling the other ones either to probably first to backers that want them via backer kit, and then eventually obviously on his website. I just found it funny that for the second time now, the first being the Variety Edition deck from the Sherlock Holmes, Jackson Robinson has wound up with a problem with one of his decks, and now he's going to be able to sell it again as a special limited edition, screwed up limited edition. And I don't know, I just think it's funny. I don't see other creators with these problems. Anyways, moving along, let's look at what's going on Kickstarter. First of all, where are we here? Kind of all mixed up. We'll go here. Immortal. I don't know if I mentioned this one last time. I have discovered that it does include a deck of cards. It's also a game, mythology game. It is currently sitting at 20%, or sorry, 71% funding. 4 days to go. It may or may not make it. We'll see. Here see some of the artwork on the cards. It's pretty cool for what it is. Obviously, unfortunately, I wasn't able to back every project on Kickstarter. Otherwise, I might. The only thing that I'm disappointed is that I don't know what the back design looks like of the cards. And no back design means no money. Because that's an important feature of a deck of cards. You can't just base it on the faces. And I don't see anywhere where it shows you what the backs look like. But whatever. It is what it is. And I'm not even sure who's producing them, which is another issue. Next up here we got Inset, a Martial Tarot, and possibly a Lenormand and Immortal deck. This is from a Ryan Edward. A pretty big goal, $22,000. I'm not sure he's going to make it. Currently, he is at 20% with 27 days. You can see some of the artwork on there. There's tarot decks. There's a couple others. I mean, it's not bad. If you're interested in this sort of thing, I would, recommend checking it out. I don't know who's producing it. I'm not sure it's going to fund. There's this deck as well, which is the Lenormand. So I don't like that he's, you know, maybe we'll produce this one. No, either you are or you're not. You can't launch a project and go, well, maybe we'll produce it. Apparently these decks have been produced by US Games, who have done, of course, the world-renowned Rider-Waite Tarot deck and some other tarot deck that they got listed there. I haven't seen US Games do any other Kickstarter decks, so it should be interesting. Quality is so-so on their decks. Moving along, Bicycle Sea Creatures from Brain Vessel Creative. I do not like it when creators have to launch a secondary project on top of their original project to raise more money. So far, 2 other projects that I can recall off the top of my head have done this, and they have both been filled with issues. Not to say that this one will, but the first one was the one that was the Kingdoms of a New World by Nathaniel Mortensen, of which many people are still waiting on fulfillment, despite the fact that he made a lot of money over 2 projects. And the other one was the Bicycle Call of Cthulhu from St. Tyree, which, again, despite the fact that he ran 2 projects and had quite a bit of money, we're still waiting on the second deck, which is apparently finally on way to fulfilling. But it's been like 2 years too long for that project. And same with the other one. But I'm not trying to say that these guys are the same. These guys are different. They're more respected, I think. And haven't had any issues. But here's the problem. They launched this deck as a stretch goal in their other project, and apparently did not sell enough of the decks. So they decided to do a second project to sell more of them. Which is fine, but at the same time, begs the question, why would you launch a stretch goal so close to the end of a project? And I don't know why, but they did. And as a result, they only sold a couple hundred decks, and they had 2,500 to sell that they have to produce. In my personal opinion, I think that any project that has got a deck as a stretch goal, if it's come down to like the last couple of days and they hit the stretch goal, maybe they should say, you know what, if we don't hit the stretch goal within 5 days of the project ending, we won't be able to sell too many of the decks. It becomes a financial issue and we can't do the stretch goal. So, you know, maybe that's something they should look at when doing projects. Anyways, moving along. This one, by the way, is funded with 4 days to go, in case I didn't mention. Next up, the Fantasy Squish playing cards by Golden Harlequin, which has done another deck previously that was funded. This one's only got a $1,000 goal. It's kind of a little cartoony and fun. It's 29% funded, 23 days to go. We'll see what happens. $1,000 goal leads me to believe it will fund. This is their previous one, the Mythic Chibi playing cards. More fun. And they had over $4,000, so oops, that could end up in the same direction. Some kind of squishies, whatever they are, cartoony characters. Not overly fond of it myself, but obviously there is an audience or a market for that kind of a deck. What I don't like is you see the court cards, they got kind of standard indexes, or at least in the standard corners. You look at the number cards, and look at the index as well. They got the letter inside the pip. That's the court cards and the aces. You go to the number cards, they got more of a standard index. Fortunately, they have fixed it, because before it was on the opposite corners, which was just stupid, but it's still not that good when the indexes are different from the number cards to the court cards, with no real reasoning. But look at that, it's the My Little Pony deck of cards. Anyways, I'm not sure that one's going to fund, we'll see. This one here, I'm pretty sure is not going to fund. It's the AC Doocy deck by Andrei Dragoslovic Kakase, or however you pronounce that. First project, he hasn't backed anything, doesn't care. 30,000 pound goal with 43 days to go, and this is what he gives us. A horrible deck of cards. The pips, the index says there is no pips. It's a black face card. Zero artwork, zero pips, just indexes. The diamonds is okay, the clubs is just circles, and then the hearts and the spades are just diamonds. I mean, it's horrible, extremely minimalist, extremely lazy. I do not like it. There's zero chance in hell it's going to reach a 30,000 pound goal for a deck like this. Especially when it's 20 pounds or more for one deck. I believe, or at least it says it's a free card. It doesn't even say that you get a deck. 100 pounds, apparently 17 cards. And a free card set. I don't get what that means. You don't even get a complete deck. I don't understand that. It's extremely pricey. And I don't understand what he's getting out of cards. Is it cards? Is it decks? It's confusing. It's not going to sell. And there's no back design if it even has one. It's just pathetic. Unfortunately. Moving along. And that one is 0% funded, 43 days to go. But you got the Bicycle limited edition Sistine playing cards from collectible playing cards. The previous one that had the Vincent Swirls and this deck did not hit the stretch goal or hit the funding goal. It was canceled. This one is $1,000 away from hitting the goal. It's going to do it with 28 days to go. It's currently, where are we here? I'm all mixed up. 75% funded, 28 days to go. Only 1,000 being produced. And it's got some nice artwork, as you can see. And here's a back design. It's pretty nice. I like it. Definitely one to check out. And then we got the Eries playing cards from Omnious Midnight Gatherings. First project as well. Apparently they're Canadian. Where are we here? It is 19% funded, 27 days to go. It's going really slow. I think part of the problem is the faces. They're kind of weird and all over the place. As you can see, pips all over the place. They're not overly usable for playing cards or doing magic whatsoever. And just cartoony characters and weird characters. And I'm not sure if they even have the... This looks like it could be something that could be trademarked, but who knows. And then the back design is also strange. And it's a one-way back design. Here's the back design. It's got a clock on here, which makes it a one-way unnecessarily. And there's probably other elements that make it a one-way, possibly. And it just says Eries all over it. Borderless. It just is not scream exciting to me. So definitely not overly interested in this one. And apparently it's to be produced by Legends, I believe it is. And apparently posters will be shipped out by FedEx in Canada and US. Only available to Canada and US, which is kind of weird. Anyways, moving along, one more to talk about. This, the Trump deck. The Trump deck is 1% funded, 7 days to go. It's a failure. It was a failure right from the start. It is only like a 15-day project. To reach $15,000, that's $1,000 a day. It hasn't even hit $300 in like 7 or 8 days, whatever it's been. It's horrible. They say this deck of cards is not for losers. So fun, it's disgusting. Actually, this deck of cards is for losers because it's pretty ridiculous. And I don't think that this guy even knows what the hell he's doing. He calls this the classy edition. Give me a break. He says this is to expect guffaws, cackles, and roars. Laugh until you cry. That it's the funniest deck of cards in the world ever created. It says right up here. I disagree. I don't think it's funny at all. You look at the images. I think it's absolutely downright stupid. And he would be lucky as hell if Donald Trump doesn't sue his ass. Because, I mean, look at this. It's stupid. This is a copyrighted image with Tom Hanks in it from a movie, League of Our Own. This is from another movie, obviously. Oh, how funny. I don't find any part of this deck to be humorous or funny. I see copyright issues or legal issues anyway. And I just think it's downright stupid. This is toilet humor. It's garbage. And it's no wonder it's not getting any funding. It's ridiculous. You gotta be a little more serious when you're creating a deck of cards. Not just copy and paste Donald Trump's face onto any image you can find. This has gotta be one of the only decks in the world that I would recommend flushing it down the toilet, because that's where it belongs. It's garbage. Moving along to something a little bit more exciting. EMINENCE. It's currently over 70% funded. 19 days to go. Make sure you check it out. I highly recommend it. There is a review of a prototype on my channel. I like it. I'm just reminding you to go check it out if you haven't done so already, because it's a really nice deck, as you can see. Alright, a few more decks to tell you about. First of all, this, the Lux Palm Playing Cards, designed by Rick Davidson for JP Playing Cards, is now available for pre-order on their website, jpplayingcards.com. In, of course, the red and the blue. They look absolutely gorgeous. Definitely recommend them. Go check them out. And right now you can get them for £8 each. I think it's £8 each. They're $1 or £1 less than the regular sale price that they'll be on later on. And that is exactly right. Set up and take my money. For this one, for sure. Moving along, this is apparently coming soon from the Edgy Brothers, the Royal House playing cards. Not sure when. I know they've changed the back designs a bit because it was somewhat similar to another deck. I think it was a Heretic or whatever it was. And here's your faces, your court cards. I'm going to agree with other comments that the K on the King is not exactly overly legible. Court cards themselves are okay. A bit of a, looks like a steampunk theme almost. No, actually, maybe not. It just kind of looks like a cog on the King. They're okay. The women look good. No idea exactly when they're coming, but probably sometime before the end of the year. Next up, this. Coming next Saturday, October the 10th, 2 p.m. Eastern Time, from Stockholm 17. It's the final 17 branded deck, La Saute Rose, which of course is the Red Cat in English. Looks very nice. And of course there will be a very limited, special, overpriced edition for anyone who's interested in throwing their money at him. But this is fine. I'll take this one deck, more than enough. I would be surprised if there wasn't any kind of freebie rewards if you spend X amount of money or get this tier or that tier. But it looks very nice. I like it. And I'll definitely be checking it out. Next up, Grotesque Macabre playing cards from Lautrec Half Moon playing cards, coming on October 4th at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. That is today. I thought it was, actually, I'm confused. I thought it was, maybe it's changed. Oh yes, it has changed. It was supposed to be today. It is now going to be Tuesday, October the 6th at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, if I recall correctly. And here's another look at it. It's kind of like a new version of the original Grotesque playing cards he put out that were the United Cards 2015 Deck of the Year. And it looks, pretty interesting. You can see the Ace of Spades is similar. Then there's this one, the Gorilla deck from Albino Dragon, bicycle deck apparently. They are on the fence about whether or not they will launch this one. I kind of don't care. They can launch it if they want. I'm not going to get it. It's not my style. It's too goofy and cartoony for the court cards. And then what comes after this? The Shark deck, the Bear deck, the limited edition Ape deck, the Lion deck or Tiger deck. You know, where does it stop when you start creating all sorts of decks that have animals? You can do tons and tons of decks, and it gets kind of ridiculous. I mean, I guess it's okay, but it's not that good. The biggest problem I have, and a lot of people have, is that it's $15 for a deck of cards, which is just a glorified rider-back, as you can see here, which is not even that appealing, which should be like $5 or $6 on, like, you know, collectibleplayingcards.com or something. Here's your number cards, court cards. So we'll see if this one launches or not. Next up, I want to talk about this one. I will be doing a review on it in the near future. It is the hashtag Go Fish Friday deck by Catchphrase Dan. Here's your back design. Pretty interesting and weird at the same time. It is a one-way back design now that I see of it because of the colors and the shapes and everything. But that's fine. Border's a little bit thick, but again, it's okay. Here's some of the faces. You got pink for diamonds, or brownish color for hearts, it looks like. And I'm guessing blue for spades and purple for clubs. And apparently there's 4 different tuck cases you can get in all 4 colors. And they're available on their website right now, gofishfriday.co.uk. Like I said, I will be getting one to review. It does kind of remind me as well of Pop-Tarts and Rugrats and Nickelodeon and stuff like that, like other people have commented. Just kind of a funky, odd-looking deck of cards, but it is what it is. Then there's this. This is launching tomorrow on Fury11.com at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. It is the Jack Sellers Blue Edition, which looks really nice. It looks like the court cards are going to be the same old, which is unfortunate. I mean, they could at the very least recolor the court cards, unless Jack Sellers won't allow them to do that. But I do like it. I am a big fan of Jack Sellers playing cards, and I look forward to this. Looks like there's going to be some kind of a wooden case as well. And then Joker and Thief have announced 2 decks coming sometime in the not too distant future. Dystopia, which is a post-apocalyptic themed deck. You can kind of see the Ace of Spades and a bit of the back design. And this one coming very soon, Joker and Thief White Gold Reserve Edition, which should be pretty limited and looks very nice. And one more thing I wanted to mention, Deckstarter.com appears to be back online. However, they don't seem to have any new projects going. All they're doing is selling their 6 original decks, probably because very few people want to buy them. I mean, the only really good one is the Revelation. Alice in Wonderland is okay, but it doesn't have anything really related to Alice in Wonderland aside from the name. Flesh and Bones is okay. Thick Lines is okay. The Debbie Millman deck is the one I have not gotten. Will not be getting, because what you see right there is the back design. It's horrible. And then there's the Deckstarter branded deck, which they said they were never even going to sell. It was going to be for the first 500 people to sign up with Deckstarter or whatever it was. And they said they were never going to sell, and now they're selling it, so screw them. But yeah, basically the way I see it is they got a lot of these decks they're trying to sell here on Art of Play, and it doesn't look like they're going to be starting any new decks anytime soon. So that is that. I will see you next week with more updates. This is a busy month. Lots of decks launching on Kickstarter. Everyone is, it seems, is pretty much launching the deck this month. Jackson Robinson's got one coming as well. And it's getting ridiculous. Anyways, that's that. See you next time.